What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to our show, How Was Your Day podcast. I'm your boy Drew, the host with the most. I'm always joined by the two homies, GQ Nesto. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
And Smith, CEO. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Shout out to all the fans, all the listeners, all the followers. We appreciate the love.
Definitely, definitely. And we also want to welcome for the first time, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time, the homie that I've been knowing since kindergarten, the homie DC. How you doing today?
Hey, Drew, feeling good, feeling great. How was your day?
Oh man, everything is swell on this end of the atmosphere. But something special happened this week, especially for those. I mean, it's not just a California thing, but those who have grown up in Los Angeles or the surrounding areas. Something epic happened this week. Can any of you guys tell me what happened? What
Oh,
do you think
most
I'm referring
definitely. And
to?
I'm a Northern California native. I'm still always repping for my Lakers. You know, we got that dub this week, so I'm feeling good.
Definitely. How did that make you feel?
We back. That's
back.
how it makes me feel. We back.
We back in the
We
mix.
back in this.
All right,
Yeah,
definitely.
we here.
Did you feel? How was it? I know you out there in the Los Angeles area, DC. What was the energy like out there this past week?
Hey, man, energy was wild, and it was a little different because obviously we're in the pandemic, so everybody's watching the game from their homes. You know, we're not at the bars, but you know, when I'm leaving work, everybody's talking about it. When we won, you know how social media blows up and it's wild. So, I mean, it was definitely felt. It was different in the bubble, so you know, it's still what it is. 2020 Lakers.
Definitely, definitely. You know what? I began to think a little bit about, and even before the Lakers ultimately winning the championship, was what would people place this in history? Would there be an asterisk um, behind this championship? And in researching this topic, I looked up the championship 98-99 Spurs, which they won a championship after a NBA lockout. I think the season was about 50 games long, and the interview was with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was being interviewed for an article, and he was just reminiscing how they were partying, popping bottles, going to all the finest parties, and then ESPN spoke with the Zen Master himself, Phil Jackson, right? And Phil Jackson, pretty much, he kind of rained on their parade. He felt that the shortened season was an advantage to the younger teams versus the older teams because you got to have healthy players to win a championship. So he basically said that championship was an asterisk. So that pretty much came from Coach Phil Jackson himself. Do you guys feel that this championship comes with an asterisk?
For me, I'm gonna say no, man. I mean, I kind of like the whole bubble thing. In my personal opinion, I think every sport should do a bubble during playoff time. It's just kind of raw talent, you know what I mean? Your best five versus my best five, or your best 12 versus my best 12. Like, put up or shut up. Let's just leave it all out on the court, leave it all out on the field. I think every sports team should do that every year for all the playoffs. That's just my opinion.
Okay, okay. What about you, GQ?
Hats off to the Lakers and the whole organization, from like the towel guy to the guy that like picks up the sneakers. I don't know. I think the whole organization itself, did a wonderful job, and I I can't even express how happy I am about Lakers taking that W, and the simple fact that they had to go through all the emotional roller coasters, being away from their family, just all the negative situations they were in, that they turned it into positive, and it reflected on the court. So I thought that was cool. It was
Definitely,
dope.
definitely. And DC, what do you think about this championship? Do you think that there is an asterisk place behind this trophy?
Well, you know, I was thinking about it too, and it was just like what you guys were saying. It was so much put into the bubble and the execution of making this playoff run happen. You know, zero positive tests for COVID, and you know the competition was up there to the some of the best competition we've seen in a while. So I would definitely say that it's not an asterisk. But if you want to put an asterisk on it, you know, is more of a positive one as opposed to ones we've seen in the past. It kind of represents how abnormal this playoffs was, as opposed to something negative happening. It was a lot to it, and we saw what we saw, and we witnessed greatness and hats off to the NBA and people that made it happen.
And in looking at it, you also, before they started and the bubble, going to the bubble again, they were off for, I think it was like 2.5 months. So some people even felt that was an unfair advantage, like because your injured players got time to heal and rehab and get healthier, of course, and they also got a time to kind of clear their minds and kind of just focus on just basketball.
Almost like a mini off season.
Right, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And then it was like, okay, well, if there was another lockout, I think it was 2011, 2012, where they played 66 games because somebody was playing, they didn't even complete a whole season. Well, the last lockout that we had was a 66-game season. So what they said is when they started the bubble, every team had played 63 to 67 games already. So you can nix that, But then they talked about momentum. Okay, well, the Lakers was playing the best balls that I've seen them play in years.
Right, they was balling out. Yeah.
Right, I just felt like, they gonna be there.
Right.
They may not win, but they're gonna be there. Definitely, they're definitely gonna be in the mix. So I was worried when it started because it looked like in the beginning I was just like, oh boy, I would call GQ and be like, yo, man, they don't look too good. Do you guys think momentum and then being a level playing ground played a part? What is your analysis on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it started as I didn't even know whether to believe in it or like I don't know. It was weird at first, and then I felt like it started as a pickup game, and then eventually it got intense, And I think the more you saw it, the more addicted you were. I think, at some point they even started getting on each other's faces, which I thought that was pretty cool. Not to promote violence, but it was letting me know that there was a lot of passion. There was a lot of that beast mentality. I think just seeing that itself, it got me more hooked into it, and I think that, they deserve the W, and I think every team deserves some type of recognition. I think everybody out there was giving it their all, and like I said, including all the staff. Imagine they were away from their families as well. So yeah, I think it's epic. I think this is definitely going in the books.
What about you, DC? Were you a little concerned with them being off for 2.5 months and, knowing that the Lakers were playing great basketball prior to the stoppage, starting over fresh in the bubble? What were your initial thoughts?
Well, yeah, so, how the season ended before COVID, we saw the Lakers balling out, and it was like, man, nobody could stop us. And then, when the time off and, everybody had a clean slate, and then we started seeing those last runs, and I was real nervous. I was just like you, calling the homies like, "Hey, what's up with the Lakers? I don't know if we could do it now." And then, with the start of the playoffs, you did see a momentum change. You saw Portland, and Portland looked like the team to beat. And so, when you talk about momentum, us knocking down Portland was like, all right, here, we ready, let's go. And competition started getting high, and from there we went.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Yeah, the same as damn, like it started out awkward, I guess you could say. Like crowd noise was off. They tried to implement the crowd noise, it was off. All you hear is silence. You hear sneakers scratching on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, but then as it went on, like teams came in balling, man. Miami was balling. I think it was Utah Jazz that went undefeated in the bubble or something like that. Like teams came out balling. Portland came out balling. And so like that momentum picked up and you start getting into it, man. Then it just got exciting, watching the players sitting on the benches, hyping up their teams. You see JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard doing flips over the freaking side rails, man. It got fun and exciting to watch, you know what I'm saying? So, as it went on, it was exciting, man. But, at first, it was a learning process for everybody, you know what I mean, going into it. So, shout out to the NBA because I feel like they did it right.
The staff, you could even see the staff. Man. The guy that was like cleaning, he was like enjoying the game. You know what I mean? He was like,
hey, bro, get back to doing what you supposed to be doing.
He was doing it. Like everybody was having a good time, but you could tell they were like, damn, we're locked up in here. Like I think Anthony Davis was like, I don't think I ever want to come back here like in the next 3 years. So I bet you it was tough for sure.
Smith CEO touched on it earlier in the episode of he liked the bubble. The concept of taking your best against my best to a neutral location. I kind of agree with that as well. I think it should be along the lines where, of course, regular season games are played in their own arenas. Playoffs are played in their arenas, but for the first and second round. But when they get to the finals, I think it'd be a cool idea to kind of like go to a neutral location where everybody can purchase their tickets and kind of do it. Because it kind of, it shows the importance of how fans actually play a part in their energy levels. Because you can tell that, like, if they actually had their fans here and felt the energy from the crowd, they probably would even be playing even a little bit better. But because you don't have there, all you have to do, you basically just relying on your athletic ability, your understanding of the
raw
game.
talent versus raw
It
talent.
got personal.
So,
it got
so
personal.
Like, who's really good? Who's really balling out here? You know what I'm saying? What you think, DC?
Man, I think the way they executed the bubble and, brought the talents, like you said, it makes you want to think, like, is this the way sports should go in general as far as taking away that home court advantage? Or, do you look back on the history of the game and say, well, that was always part of it, and, why would we change that up? So, I mean, I'm like 50-50 with that. I love the bubble, but I do like that energy, that hometown. When the Lakers were at home, you couldn't beat that Lake Show crowd. So
that crowd energy,
you gotta love it
insane
still.
at Staples Center.
Definitely Showtime.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, do you want to lose that? I don't know, but the bubble was nice. That competition was at a all-time high.
Okay, all right. Now, everybody at this table knows I'm a big LeBron James fan, right?
Here we go.
Hey,
here we go.
You know it's coming up, man. LeBron James can go play tennis, and I'm gonna get into tennis because I like what he brings to the game. I like his dedication, to whatever it is that he's actually focused, what his attention is focused on. Now, he hasn't hinted at retiring or anything like that, but any realistic person would say that he got about 3-4 years left to play at the top of the game. Now, with him winning this championship for your Los Angeles Lakers, where do you rate him among the best of the best? Let's start with you, GQ Nesto.
He qualifies to be respected. I want to say that. I think, he clearly said it. Give me my respect. I think he earned it. But as far as being with the GOATs, I think he's up there. He definitely qualifies for a vote. Let's give him a couple years and see what he does. I mean, come on. We're the Lakers, we're not just going to take one little title and then be thinking like you're our savior. Like, give us 3. We'll be all right.
3.
Give us 3.
Okay. What about you, Smith CEO?
I mean, everybody who knows me knows I'm a diehard Kobe fan, right? Like Kobe to the death of me, RIP to the legend, the GOAT, the Black Mamba. But I mean, with that being said, all due respect to LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, I respect the guy. I'm not going to lie. Before he came to the Lakers, I didn't really care for him. But, being a sports fan, he's one of those guys where, like, you only hate him because he's not on your team, right? Like, you hate him until he comes to your team, all of a sudden you're a fan. He's one of those players. Like, you don't hate him. It's not personal. It's just, all right, you not on my team, so like it's going to be us versus you. I know what the competition is going to be like.
He's looking like Jamie Foxx in the movie Ali.
With that being said, though, like, I mean, in my book, my personal opinion, and I'm a diehard Kobe fan, it's always going to be Jordan, Kobe, then LeBron in that order. Like,
all right. Definitely.
Give respect where respect
What
is
about
due.
you, DC? Where does LeBron rank in your top 5?
Whew. Man, I think this is the most debated, sports talk in history, and it probably always will be. But, I'm like you guys. Well, not like you, Drew. I don't know how you became a diehard LeBron.
Stop that.
But I'm Kobe all the way. And, before that, I was Jordan because, he's the GOAT. And I will put him at the top still. Couple things separate these 3 players. 2 of them stayed on the same team and did it with their same team. We could debate on who had the better teams associated with him, whether it was Pimpin or Shaq. So then you get to LeBron, and he took his talent to South Beach and did it in Cleveland, Miami, and now he's on the Lake Show, my favorite team, my home team. So, like you said, man, you get a different respect for a guy that's on your team. And, I didn't hate him. I always respected his game. But when he came to the Lake Show, it was like, man, you got to witness greatness, and you're seeing it right now. It's hard not to put him up there with the GOAT talk, and he's top 3 right now, and I don't know what it's going to take for him to take that number 2, number 1 spot, but he's right there.
Because the argument was as well, he makes it to the finals, like that's like an easy feat, but he doesn't win. Look at his percentage, so he has 9 finals appearances and 4 championships. That's if you do your math calculation, that's 44% chance of winning a ring. So, I think about it, and then people say, oh, well, he jumped teams.
Facts.
Okay. Well, okay, yes, that's true. But how many jobs have you had, GQ Nesto?
He kind of invented the super teams.
What?
He kind of invented the super teams.
Kobe didn't have a good squad?
Come on.
Jordan didn't have a good squad?
He had a player that changed his name like 3 times.
Wait,
come on, Ron Artest, World Mero Peace. I don't know. He had like 3 names, bro. Come on, man.
That's another thing too. I won't put him as number 1 because Jordan did it with 1 team. Kobe did it with 1 team. LeBron had to jump teams.
But
Jordan, give me a second. Jordan was able to bring people to Chicago. Kobe was able to bring people to LA. LeBron couldn't get nobody in Cleveland. He had to go to Miami where D Wade was already running it.
Okay,
so was that championship really LeBron, or was it D Wade and Bosh tied with it?
Let's look at it this way.
He caught everybody at their prime.
No, let's look at it about a job. You know what I'm saying? If you feel undervalued at your place of business, you're not going to leave. If you're consistently telling and constantly telling your boss or your supervisor, like, hey, we should do this, and it will improve our sales, it will improve our situation and our production, and you're not even being recognized, your voice is not even being heard, you just going to stay unhappy at that place of business, or are you going to leave?
Or he could just be a little too special. You know what I mean? Like, bring me my cold water. Like, let me shower in wine. You know what I mean? You never know.
So you don't think Jordan got any privileges?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Hey, but you know what I'll say? What I'll say separates LeBron is the fact that he's been in so many consecutive finals. I mean, we could argue, Jordan, Kobe, but who's had the longest streak to where every year you knew whatever team LeBron was on, he's gonna be in the finals.
And
like I never seen another player like
that. He kept going to all the best teams.
What
you gonna go? If you go to all the best teams, you gonna make the finals, bro.
Are you serious?
You gonna tell me Miami wasn't stacked?
No, man. I mean, okay. So let me clarify something. So always Jordan. Jordan is my number 1 player of all times. There would be nobody. I don't think LeBron win 3 more championships. It's still gonna be Michael Jordan.
Because he probably have to do it with 5 teams instead of just 3.
Well, no, it don't. But what I'm saying is, like, dude, when he went to Miami, of course, D Wade is like one of my favorite players as well. And he is a phenomenal talent. Chris Bosh is cool too. But if you put D Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh versus Kobe, Shaq, and what's dude Paul Gasol or something like that, everything kind of evens out if you want to look at the championship team's top 3. So it's always a top 3. You have your 2 top scorers, and you got somebody who can come off.
Jordan and Kobe were able to bring the talent to them, to where LeBron had to go chase the talent.
Bro, he was a kid.
We didn't really have that much talent that we could say.
It's just like the same thing. Like when
come on, like Paul Gasol, really? Like
so Paul Gasol's trash.
I mean, he's not. Is he going to go to the Hall of Fame? I don't know about that,
bro. You tripping?
Gosh, you're tripping.
It's just like
he wasn't an all-star. He was an all-star though.
Yeah,
his brother was better. You know what I mean?
No, his brother is better.
That's true. That's true.
But like Paul Gasol was doing.
He complimented Kobe. I'll give him that.
All right, just like.
All right, so can we say this? Can we say that it took a supporting cast, but the main focus being Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, on whatever team they were on, they were the main focus. They were that guy, right?
Right.
True.
So then, is LeBron gonna make it to any finals on any team with any roster? Just a decent cast, like. I mean, we saw him doing it in Cleveland with basically bums.
Yes, bums.
So
bums, really?
Bums. Kyrie
yeah.
wasn't a bum.
Well, Kyrie was cool, but
Kevin Love
wasn't a bum.
Hey, are you serious?
Kevin Love was a bum.
The guy that looks like a number 2 pencil.
Dude who runs in the locker room crying all the time because he's in pain.
I mean, I don't know.
Come on, man, get out of here with that, man. Kevin Love.
Okay,
and he was equivalent to Green in the Lakers playoffs this year.
Yeah,
Just didn't show up.
Yeah.
Perfect example though, because if I remember correctly, Drew, you used to like would be an OKC fan. What about when
You
your boy
did.
Durant? When you got mad at Durant for going to the Lakers?
Oh.
I mean, not the Lakers,
I
the Warriors.
really
Same
appreciate you
situation.
putting my business out
I'm
there
just saying
like that.
when Durant went, because I remember when Durant went to the Warriors, you were mad because you said, what'd you say?
Well, I felt like they had a chance to do something special. It's not necessarily with OKC.
I
It
feel
was
like
the
he's
way
the-
they played.
He's
the
doing
game.
what LeBron does, bro.
Even worse.
Yeah.
I can't
even worse.
believe that. I can't
Like he
believe
went to
that's
secure a
his son.
championship. That's what KD did. He went to the Warriors.
No,
They was already
LeBron's-
winning. He secured a championship. That's what LeBron does the same thing.
LeBron said himself he left Cleveland because he wanted to be pushed. He felt like he can really do something special in the league, but he felt like he had like sometimes.
So he goes to Miami?
No, so listen, no, but sometimes you have to leave home to actually grow, and we know that as men.
Well, true.
Sometimes, so that's what you know what I'm saying. He had to leave. He wanted to go somewhere where he felt like he can be pushed, and why not give him one of the most dynamic and explosive players ever in the game with D Wade, Chris Bosh. I mean, he was cool, he was consistent, but he wasn't like I think he came from Toronto. He wasn't a Chris Bosh of Toronto. He was cool though.
Hey,
He'll get you a good 19.
honestly,
but like, come on, are you
All,
serious?
all I'm gonna say, Space Jam 2 better be good. That's all I gotta say.
If you want to secure that number 3 spot, Space Jam better be on point.
He better outdo Michael Jordan. That's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah, well, you guys are some.
And I got a question.
Go ahead.
Hey, so I was just thinking about this right now. In the era of super teams and players having a different power than they did, in the early '80s, '90s, they have a different power, and they're moving to teams and building their own super team. Does that make a championship now even greater because you have to go up against super teams? And does that matter?
Oh, 100%. I believe that.
Well, that's why I think that's where LeBron comes into that conversation.
He created
because he did it when he was going against Golden State, and he won that ring against. Like, come on, dude, Golden State. If they had squad, if Kevin Durant never left, if we would
He
be
lost to Dallas though.
we will be talking about the Golden State Warriors right now instead of the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? They have squad. They were unbeatable. Unless injury is what stopped them. Dude, they were unbeatable.
I wouldn't say that.
Bro,
were
they
unbeatable.
were raw, bro.
They were unbeatable.
If it
Dude,
wasn't for
was-
injuries, bro, they would have been in it this year.
it was like watching 2K
Definitely.
and everybody got 100.
What was happening is that dudes weren't practicing their threes at practice. That's all was happening, and the Lakers were. I mean, the Warriors.
That's what I'm saying. The
were.
Warriors changed the projection of the game with
That-
their
that-
3-point shooting, which I mean, with
They
that-
weren't unbeatable. I think they were putting in work.
Well, I got a
compared
question.
to-
Well, I got a question then. Okay, and let's leave LeBron out of this one. But we're speaking of super teams. Well, if you're on a super team, does your championship actually count? Because we can go back through our history and start just removing all kinds of kudos.
If you beat like another great team, but not if you go beat like the Bobcats or something like that. Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, technically, shouldn't every championship team be considered a super team since they won?
Not really.
I mean,
Right.
Not really.
well, not the Spurs. You would never consider the Spurs like a super team. They just played good, organized
Bro, they
team
had Duncan,
ball.
Ginobili, freaking who
They
else?
were cool
They
players. They'd get you.
Hey, just because they were dorks, how come they not considered a
Yeah,
super
bro,
team?
they had squad, bro. Duncan, Ginobili,
They had
freaking
squad.
what's the other dude's name?
I'm not saying that they didn't have talent. They had talent, but you don't look at the San Antonio Spurs and like consider them to be a Lakers or the Bulls. You be like, yo, they ball. They play team ball, and they beat you with that. They beat you with their motion. Like, and Ginobili was crazy back
I mean, they
then,
got
you know?
squad.
Like,
they got squad.
I wouldn't consider. I just
Patty
wouldn't-
Mills been balling.
I wouldn't consider them a super team. Any of the
What about
championships that
Aldridge?
they won.
You don't think he's good anymore? I mean,
He's cool. He's cool.
Nah, he wasn't a factor though.
Yeah, no, he's cool. You know, not no like top 5 or top 10 in anything. You know, but he does his job. But we coming up to the end of our episode. But before we let you guys go, I always like to open up the floor to the homies and let them share whatever it is that they want to share. But because we got a guest on our show today, I want to start with the homie DC. You have anything you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, how was your day podcast, man? I love how it's going. Appreciate you letting me get on today. And, Lakers 2020, Dodgers in 7, game tonight. Been a rough year, but may God bless the rest of our year. And I'm signing out.
All right, man. Have a good one. I'll get at you. GQ Nesto. Any parting words?
How about them Lakers? With that being said, I think it's a good good way to end the year, this 2020 year. So everybody keep pushing, and God bless.
Smith, CEO.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, in that order. Lakers got the dub. My Raiders beat the Chiefs. I'm happy. Everything going good. Just want to say thank you again to all the fans. Make sure you guys continue to like, comment, and share all of our content across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any social media platform. Check us out on iTunes, YouTube. Check us out, man. Share the love. We appreciate it.
And once again, I'm your boy Drew. This is How Was Your Day podcast. Stay safe. We love you. We thank you. See you next time.